Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Leslie Hassler here with your Biz Rules Business Coaching for a little business boost in the morning with the Be More Successful show. And welcome. I really do this show. I do tend to speak in the royal we, but I started this show because I truly am committed to empowering prosperity for all, for every business owner. And I know, especially in times like today, as much as we can be sharing, as much as we can be collaborating, as much as we can be in it to win it for everyone, the more successful that we're going to be as a economy down the road. So today we're really talking about, what are we talking about? How to be ready for opportunity when it shows up, because opportunity does come knocking. So if you're catching this live, please give me a shout out, say howdy. If you're catching this as a replay, let me know you're watching it as a replay. I love hearing your thoughts, your questions, your comments. It really is what fuels me. And as always, if this speaks to you today, please share it. That's really how Facebook knows that we're doing something good here. And so it's really helpful when you're able to do that as well. So we've got a little bit to talk about. These are let me back up. If you've read Good to Great, Great by Choice, Built to Last, any of the books by Jim Collins, you'll know that some of our best, most successful businesses have been born in times of uncertainty, in times of recessions or depressions. And the businesses that tend to be born during these times also tend to have a longevity factor to them. Not always, but a lot of times. And so one of the things that I learned really early on is that during the good times, my job really was to prepare for the pendulum swing. And that way I could take advantage of any of the opportunities that would come my way. Not if, but would. And so we're in this period of time where we have opportunities come our way, either in team members who've been displaced from other businesses but are freaking awesome, new strategies, new partnerships, new developments of product and services. There's a lot of innovation that comes in times where people have to kind of get scrappy with things. So the flip side of that is, if you haven't prepared, if it hasn't been your mantra that you're actually going to be being prepared for opportunity when the pendulum swings, then really you're left into this whole, I won't call it, it's just a way station. I've said it before, it's purgatory, right? Where you're just waiting. And part of it is because the uncertainty is so great, it doesn't feel like there's clarity about which way to go. And so we can get into a situation to where we don't trust our instincts as business owners. And instincts, guys, it's part of the gig. It's part of that internal little thermometer or reading sensor that's like, ooh, this is good, right? And so if we lose that trust with our instinct, then we start to second guess ourselves. The other thing is that we can suffer from the analysis paralysis, if you will. It's really easy to do that even in good times when you're developing a new product and you want it to be perfect and you feel like it's a representation of yourself. So it's got to be absolutely perfect. And really all you just need to do is get good enough and let the market help develop the rest. Well, the same thing can happen when it's uncertain, when there's uncertainty, because you're analyzing which way it's going to happen. And you want some level of assurity, some safety net, if you will. And that's not existing right now. It's not existing right now. But the last thing that you should be doing is just waiting, or getting stuck into that. You don't trust your instincts. You don't trust these things. So if we're going to be more successful in our businesses and be prepared for opportunity when it shows up, we really have to adapt a strategic, adaptive, flexible mode of moving forward. Now I'm going to give you three different things, and I've got a couple subpoints, so we'll kind of talk about those. But I think what you really need to see is that there is the value to taking the time to do this today when you may have more time, but there's also more value to doing it when you feel like you don't have time, right? The I don't have time to is a kiss of death sentence for business owners. You need to make the time. You're the leader. You're the one that gets to set the rules. You can do this. Okay. So we're going to talk about three different components of how do you be prepared? How do you get into that strategic mode? And you know, I love strategy. It's what I really am great at, but also great in trying to make it very relatable. I would say one of the biggest difference between myself and other coaches is I am a business geek. I really am. I love strategy. I love the theory. I love all that part. But that means nothing if we can't make it practical and actually implementable. So I really cover, I like to joke, I can see the forest and the trees when it comes to business. And that's how it makes it really easy for me to take these abstract ideas and almost see the exact path and every step that needs to happen for my clients. So that's what I'm going to do with you today when it comes to this. So first thing we need to do, and I will tell you, this was inspired by an article from HBR. And so it talks about strategy in uncertain times, but man, the article is 23 years old. And I was like, wow, how awesome is that it's really kind of timeless in its approach. So again, guys, if you're seeing us live, say howdy. If you're seeing us replay, say replay, and share this with your friends. Really appreciate that. So understanding the uncertainty. Here's my notes, guys. This is what I put together for you guys to keep myself on track. It really this article talks about 4 levels, being level 1 is clear enough. You've been here before, you've seen it, maybe it's not exactly the same, but it's clear enough. Like you can take a step forward and know with some probability. That's where we've been for the last 12 years, okay? Level 2 is alternate futures. So, and this really spoke to me. Good morning, Jolene, howdy. This really spoke to me because this is where I've been with my clients in a lot of respects of saying, look, we've got to plan for these alternate futures, being everything gets better, everything gets worse, and we stay as the same, because that's been pretty clear as far as what we've been able to see. Level 3 is a range of futures. So where level 2 is like, I can see 3 different ways this can shake out. Level 3 is a range of futures, which is a lot of uncertainty. And a lot of times that's where maybe it's a new-ish market, a new-ish way, a new-ish product, a deviation. Maybe you're adapting new technology, you're shifting your client base and your target audience, and anything goes. And I like to think, you know, a lot of times I like to think that that's where my brain operates. Like I hear what people want to achieve, and I can see all the ways that it could happen. And I help people kind of filter through all those possibilities into the most probable possibilities. And then we have to test and measure. But level 3 is really hard for a lot of people to operate in on a consistent basis. Okay. Level 4 is true ambiguity. You have no stinking clue. You are making it up as you go. You are, you know, not the Lone Ranger in the wild, wild west, but you live there, right? And you're having to figure it out as you go along. Now, I find that newer business owners are more okay with that level 4 level of uncertainty, because I always say this all the time, guys. Entrepreneurship is on the job training. And because the world changes, we never stop learning. You never stop learning. I mean, you can take a class, you can get an MBA, you can study entrepreneurship, but it's not a static thing. It's constantly evolving, constantly evolving. And so in a lot of ways, that holy cow, we have no idea what's going to happen here is a part of the everyday process. It's just as you grow and you continue on your journey of entrepreneurship that it feels more secure. You're more used to the ambiguity, if you will. So for a lot of things that I'm seeing right now is people are, I don't know what to do. It's never been the same. I'm like, it hasn't been for a really long time. We've just tricked ourselves into thinking that it was normal, that it had a process, that it had a path, and we were good at it. Really, what we need to be good at is handling and accepting the possibilities of future for us and adopting a different mindset. So it's not so much about you being right all the time. It's so much more about you understanding how to filter and process and implement all the things that are coming at you. So that's step number one. Identify the level of uncertainty you're at. I'd love to hear what you think you're at right now. Step number two. I can't get my fingers to match my mouth this morning, but that's okay. Hey, if you're saying hi, evolving into a new normal. Thanks, Lynette. I love that. And thanks for saying hi, guys. I love that too. So second category that we're going to talk about, second thing to do is determining your strategic position. And I love this idea. So there's those that are shaping, that are innovating, that are coming up with completely different business models. You know, last weekend we had in our neighborhood the Bubble Bus Company, and you probably saw my posts because I was inspired by them. A couple who had reconverted or converted and remodeled, refurbished a VW Bug to be able to be at events, you know, and have tap, and they had champagne and they had beer. Then they had popsicles and, you know, just some yummy stuff there. But they did this all pre-COVID, and they were ready to go to market. And then March happened. And so they're really looking at, dude, we've invested, you know, how can we do this? Because people can't have events. And what they wound up doing is brilliant, right? It's that shaping and that innovation. And so what they wound up doing is actually pitting neighborhoods in a social media voting contest, and whoever, I guess, has the most votes or the most comments or the most interaction on social media wins the Bubble Bus that weekend. This is brilliant. This is like marketing you can't pay for. It's an influence marketing strategy. It's so brilliant. So they come and they're bringing 3 to 4 other businesses, small businesses, to the table. So they had a company that did T-shirts. So they were selling T-shirts. That's a small business. They had the company that did the popsicles. That's a small business. The craft brew company, the winemaker that provided the Prosecco. And then we totally bought the handmade dog collars. Beautiful. They look like friendship bracelets from when I was younger, but leather. And anyway, so we bought our dog one. So you can see how there's already collaboration coming together in this instance. There's innovation, and the way they get paid is through donation. And now they do sell the T-shirts or the collars, but everything else is donation. So they use the donations to pay for the supplies and to prepay, if you will, next week's work. Now, I think this is brilliant. That's innovation. That's going, crap, we just got handed a whole bunch of lemons. How can we make this work? Okay, so that's strategic position number 1. 2 is adapting. Now, adapting is a bit of a reactive mode. And at times we have to react. I mean, that's part of it. But if you can understand where your strategic vision is and how to shift for the things that are happening around you, you're going to be able to react not just to the things that are out of your control and you would deem negative, but also to those opportunities. So when you see that glimmer of light, if you're stable enough, right, we've got some stability here, you can take advantage of those kind of sliver of lights to see where they're going to flow. That is a huge position to be in. But you have got to feel confident, and you've got to feel strength, and you've got to have people in your back corner going, yeah, this is a good idea. This is what could go wrong. This is what could go right. Let's mitigate the risks. Let's shore this up so we can let it run its course. But let's try. Let's try. And the third kind of strategy, and I feel like, oh my gosh, so many people are in this strategic mode of operating, is is reserving the right to play. Just hanging on, being able to stay in the game, but maybe you're on the sidelines. And I don't want to demean that as an opportunity. For some cases, I can see how in a case or two, this is exactly where you need to be. We just need to reserve the right to play the game. And so you're hanging out-ish. You shouldn't be hanging out. You really should be working on some other things in there. But being strategic in this could mean that you last while your competition falls away. And I'm not in for any business going out of business. I really am not. There's a lot of stress and heartache and mental anguish that goes along with that. So I'm not for that if it's avoidable. But sometimes it's not. And so it is a reality of what we do. And then I think the way to look at it, so if that's your strategic position, we'll move into our third point, is really about the action you take. And that the action can really fall into three, again, tiers. So do you see how it's almost like we're doing a matrix, and you're like, this is where I think we are from a uncertainty. Here's the strategic position that I want to be, and here's how we're going to play the game. So this, when you look at it, is three levels again. One is big bets, all or nothing. All or nothing. We're going in. We're following it. We're committed to this, and we're not going to second guess ourselves. The middle run, I think, is maybe even I will say it feels a little safer to me. Is really the best bets option. We're going to go with the best bet, the most probable. And I will say I play in this range because I'm guiding other business owners. We're looking for probable, where our goal is results. And so I probably operate a lot in that best bets option, unless I have a business that is stable enough that you can afford the risk, right? You can afford to go big bets. And there's times where that is your lifeline that you didn't even know you needed. So those two strategies I probably operate the most in with my clients. And then the third is no regrets. And this is an interesting place to be. And I think for no regrets, it truly is, we're going to give this a shot. If it doesn't work, we're not going to beat ourselves up about it. We're not going to look back and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda. We understand that at this time, this is the best thing that we can do. And we reserve the right to change our mind. I think that's a huge gift if you can adopt that as a business owner. But it requires a little separation, on how you look at failure and success as it goes. So really, if you can do this, if you can understand the level of uncertainty, if you can determine your strategic positioning, and if you can say, okay, this is how we're going to play the game. Are we all in? Big bets, going hard, go hard or go home? Are we going to say, you know what, we're not sure, but this is the best decision we can make, and we're not going to regret it. So wherever you are in that kind of three gamuts, that's a decision-making really framework that you can put into action in 30 minutes and 3 minutes once you're practiced with it. So really, I know that there's opportunity. I believe in it. I can see it popping up for people. We can see how people are being innovative and being scrappy. And that's great because you really do need that right now. But if you can develop this flexible, more adaptive attitude towards how you look at your business, how you manage your business, how you manage the strategy in the business, and you put a few tools behind yourself, like a dashboard, business metrics, something that helps you. You've got a little dashboard in your car, right? That tells you how you're doing on fuel, how your heat's doing, how fast you're going. You need these things for your business as well. Maybe that will be another episode. So what are your thoughts? You put all these things into place. I tell you, it puts you back in control. You can't control everything. You can only control yourself and how you respond to the things that are going around you. I hope that kind of helps you see how you can be a little more successful. As always, guys, I really appreciate your comments. If you enjoyed today's topic, please share it with your friends. Give it a shout out so that Facebook can keep me in your feed so you know when we're going to come. We haven't done our message announcing the lives this week. There's been a algorithmic change. So hopefully by next week, I'll be able to put that back in. But if you would like those live announcements, you can see this in the post at the bottom. It has a little link. Click on that, say get started. We'll take care of you. And we really only use that to tell you when we're going live. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I hope it's profitable. I have a speaking engagement at noon for a NAWBO group in San Antonio. We're going to be talking all about cash flow. Really kind of excited. It's really good presentation. I like it when I get excited about my own presentations. But if you're looking for a speaker, let me know. I do a pretty interactive virtual talk, and so have been getting great reviews with that. With that, guys, have a great day. Oh, thanks, John. Thank you for that comment. I really appreciated it. Have a great day. I will be back next Tuesday. I'll launch, I announce those things on Friday so that you can see that, and it tends to announce on our personal and our business. But off we go. My dog needs a walk, and then I've got to get ready for that engagement. Talk to you soon, guys. Have a great day.